Welcome to another episode of Out of the Pods. I'm Deepti.
And I'm Natalie, and happy Monday. I don't know for how much longer I'll be saying happy Monday. We might be going back to our Wednesday episodes. I just don't know how many episodes from now we'll be going back to Wednesdays.
I hope soon because...
Really?
I mean, I love Monday episodes for our pod besties.
Yeah, because we get to start the week with you guys.
Yeah, but I think personally, I don't love to work on weekends. So
True.
Wednesdays are nice. You get a little bit of cushion in the middle, you know?
You're right. You're right. Because if you guys didn't know, we do record these in advance, around like 2 or 3 days in advance, so that we could edit them, of course, and also edit the video. And so, no, I totally get it. I hate working weekends too. But I just love being able to start the week with all of the opinions, the comments, all the questions from our pod besties. And I think that's so fun, like just going through our DMs.
I agree. So yesterday I went to go get my eyebrows done. And
they look good.
Thank
I like
you.
them.
I get them threaded. Highly recommend that, pod besties. But as I was laying in this woman's chair while she's doing my eyebrows, she's like, "So, do you want me to do your upper lip and your chin as well?" And listen, I totally get little
she's
fuzzies.
a hustler. She hustles.
But the thing is, she asks me this every single time, but threading your upper lip and your chin, it hurts so bad.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I have a really high pain threshold. So I'm like, if I'm saying that, you know it hurts. But she basically was like, so like if you dermaplane it or like shave it, it's going to be like a man. Like you might get like a 5 o'clock shadow. Like it gets dark up there. And I was like, God damn it, woman. Like, why are you coming for me right now? Just do my eyebrows.
So did she do your upper lip and chin?
Absolutely not.
You said no?
No, because I think it just hurts so bad.
What do you do? Just you dermaplane it?
Yeah, I dermaplane it. If I feel a chin hair, like you know how sometimes you'll just be sitting, if I feel
I don't get chin hair, so I can't relate.
Wow. How does it feel to be God's favorite?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of other things wrong with me. It's like God may have not given me chin hairs, but he definitely gave me really bad bowel issues.
That's true.
So you can't win.
Sometimes you just have to be grateful for what you have.
Yeah, the universe really tries to make things fair, okay?
No, I anytime I feel like a chin hair, it becomes my entire personality for that day until I pluck it. And it's not like I get like a lot of them.
Wait to pluck it?
Well, I have a problem. If I like sit here and go like this and I feel it, I can't stop thinking about it. Like nothing else happens in my brain until I pluck it.
Your mind.
No, it literally does. So anyways, I'm going to get laser.
Okay.
In conclusion.
I love that. So I actually epilate my face.
Oh, yeah.
With an epilator.
Yes. I used to do that.
Yeah. I actually also epilate my underarms too.
Really? That hurts.
Well, here's the thing. I have really... Well, I don't know the word. I don't want to say like thick skin because I also don't. I don't know. This is the best trait about me is I have baby smooth skin.
Love
like
that.
on my body. I don't know why. I think it's like a genetic thing.
It's an Asian thing.
Maybe. But like if you feel like anyone who feels my skin, they're like, this feels like a baby's skin. Like a newborn skin.
Wow, what a great compliment.
I know. And I was like, I don't know. Well, but I don't feel like I don't get sensitivity.
Okay.
Except for on my face.
Yeah, because epilator is like a bunch of threading, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like just a bunch of like tweezers just like going at your body.
Exactly.
I don't know, but I love it. I love epilating. I feel like once you get really used to it and just like love tweezing hairs off your skin, I don't know, it becomes an addiction.
Yep.
Like I cannot wait. I set it on my calendar. I'm like 3 weeks from now, my hairs will be grown where it could epilate perfectly off my body. Is anyone with me?
I used to be with you, but laser, here I come. From the eyebrow down, I'm getting laser. No, I'm sad.
Okay, I had to bring this up because we spoke about this a couple of episodes ago about the rumors surrounding J-Lo and Ben being divorced.
Yes.
Well, it's official.
Well,
so,
shocker.
According to Variety, Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from her husband, Ben Affleck. And she listed the official separation date as April 26th. So it's been a while.
So she backdated the divorce.
Not the divorce, but when they actually separated.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think, I feel like it was like even March that we started hearing rumblings of it.
I think paparazzi spotted them without their wedding rings. And, you know, like Ben supposedly had moved out of their marital home. So that's where all the rumors came from. But I mean, it's true. They weren't doing so great. And now they're getting a divorce. And look, it comes back to what we talked about a few episodes ago. Never go back to your ex.
Listen, would you go out and take the trash into your home again? No. So
Once
leave
it's
that
out-
garbage on the curb.
Once it's out, it's out. So if you guys didn't know, they were engaged twice. The first time they were engaged in 2002. And they were so popular. Remember Bennifer?
Yes, of course. Who could ever forget?
Yeah, they were seriously like a fixation in the tabloid publications, like in the early 2000s.
I also recently saw a TikTok of Jennifer on the phone with Jane Fonda. And basically Jane Fonda is like, hey, like, I know you're back together with Ben, but it seems like you guys are kind of putting on a show and not really living into it. Like, not those exact words, but basically implying that. And Jennifer's like, no, we're happy. And I'm like, Jane Fonda just clocked it.
Yeah,
clocked
she's like,
it from
she
the
knows.
beginning.
You love a filterless friend.
Love it.
Yeah. Wait, this was like published, like this phone call?
I think it was like part of JLo's documentary. And so
got
it started resurfacing because this news came out and people are like, oh, look, Jane Fonda called it from the beginning.
You know what? I'm really sad about this. I don't know why.
Shut up. You are not sad about this
I really,
news.
really am.
Why?
I think I don't know, because, you know, in the early 2000s when like Bennifer was such a huge thing, and then they ended their engagement and they ended up, you know, having other relationships. I think it was just like really exciting for them to come back together in 2021. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, like those memories. Oh, what memories? I'm like, I don't even know them. But just like the thought that like, oh my gosh, like true love really prevails 20 years later. And then, 20 years later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about like right timing, or like it's all about right person, wrong timing. And then you're like, oh.
Yes, it makes you believe in that.
Yeah.
It makes you believe in like, oh, well, if it was meant to be, it truly was 20 years later.
I'm not going to lie. I cannot look to any Hollywood couple to be like, you guys are goals.
So do you believe in that? Like right person, wrong timing? Because that's why I was so invested in what was happening in this marriage and relationship, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's like, you know, you wait and change and wow, you could potentially come together with like a former love.
Yeah, I think I do believe in it because I'm just such a hopeless romantic, and there's so many people on this planet. And
you think
everyone's
you and
stories
Shake could come back together?
You got jokes today. I don't know. What if in like 20 years he becomes not a narcissist? Potentially. Is there narcissist therapy? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
What about you and Shane?
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like that would only happen, actually, even if we were the last two people on Earth. I could never.
Yeah, listen, we just talked about this. JLo and Ben are the perfect example. Do not bring the trash back into the house. Not that either of them are trash. Just trash for each other.
Like, if it ended because of personality differences or whatever, just leave it as is.
Leave it as is.
Like, no need to touch it.
Listen to Jane Fonda. The weather in Chicago during the summertime can be interesting. You can experience all 4 seasons in one day sometimes. The worst is when I'm outside and it's really nice in the mornings, but gets super hot by the evenings. When this happens, the last thing I want to do is go back home to cool off. The second best place to go on a hot summer evening, inside a cool, dark theater where you can watch an amazing show more easily than ever thanks to Today Tix.
Deepti and I have used Today Tix several times this summer. We saw Drunk Shakespeare at the Lions Theater in Chicago and a live comedy show at the Laugh Factory. Today Tix also has tickets to shows on Broadway and the West End and in other cities across the country and around the world. You can book a show in advance or do what we love to do, just check out what's on for the night.
So go to todaytix.com/outofthepods and use promo code outofthepods to get $20 off your first Today Tix purchase.
That's promo code outofthepods at todaytix, tix.com/outofthepods, todaytix.com/outofthepods. So there's another piece of the story. So Ben's ex-wife, Jennifer Gardner, supposedly went on a break from her boyfriend, John Miller, amid, you know, the Ben Affleck and JLo divorce, according to Life and Style. And a source told Life and Style that, quote, Jen had so much going on with Ben, it just took a toll, end quote.
See, right person, wrong timing applies here maybe, because Jennifer Gardner is truly the partner that Ben Affleck needs.
But Ben is definitely not the partner that Jen needs because he continues to ruin her life.
That's crazy.
I know. Imagine your ex becoming one of your children, like in this case.
Exactly. That's actually kind of sad. The fact that you had to take a break from your relationship.
Yeah, because you're trying to like help your ex-husband. But I kind of get it because, you know, I feel like Jen is doing it out of love for her kids, like trying to take care of Ben because it is her kid's father.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. And what happens in his life impacts their kids' lives.
But people are also speculating, is this a sign that she's trying to get back with Ben? And I think, fuck no. I think she's seen this man at his worst and she's just like, get the fuck up. Don't make me and the kids look like a fucking fool and like figure this out.
Yeah. And also not to mention, like, if you were in a relationship with somebody and your ex-husband is such a big part of your life, I feel like,
and you're both in the media.
Yeah, I would feel some type of way and be like, hey, like I need to step back so you can deal with what's happening in the public eye right now. Like, I don't think I can give any energy to this relationship at the moment, you know? That's just sad though. Can Ben stop ruining her life?
I mean, I feel bad because I'm like, nobody gets married with the intention of getting divorced. But I do feel like the perception that I get from him just based on media reports and things he's also said in interviews is that he's just very messy behind the scenes. I mean, he was an alcoholic and he has admitted that. But I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Jennifer Gardner is such a good soul and she's constantly trying to take care of him, and that must be so exhausting, just seeing your ex-husband, the father of your kids, just be like kind of messy.
Yeah, I truly believe in soul ties, and I feel like in this lifetime for her, she's always going to be connected to Ben.
Oh, 100%.
And has to give him that love that, like, I don't know, that he needs, you know, because it's also kind of sad to like have him be on his own and like be going through so much. And obviously their kids' mental health can be impacted too, you know? Because if you're around a parent who's like depressed or going through it, like your kids absorb that energy.
Totally.
And it can be a lot. So,
anyways, well.
Sending love to Jennifer.
I know. That's why you have to be really careful who you marry sometimes. Like really look at their personality traits. I stopped doing this as I'm actively dating is like I'll see not like a red flag, but a beige flag where I'm like, well, maybe they'll change. Like with age, maybe they'll kind of like grow out of, I don't know, this
immaturity.
Yeah. Or like, you know, oh, like I'll just be able to like change that. Like once we're like actually in a relationship, I'll like tell him that this isn't, you know, that he should change his like actions or his ways. But I realized like at this age, like you can't change anyone. And now I date based on like who is in front of me. Like when I'm considering someone for a really serious relationship or even future marriage, I'm like, could I marry this person unchanged? Here he is.
Yes. Exactly that, because I think we're growing up.
Because I know. I was like, did that come out of my mouth?
Yeah, because back in the day.
Did therapy work?
Back in the day, dude, I used to be that fix-a-hoe type of girl. Like, oh my gosh. Well, mostly because I love Bad Boys, you know.
Oh, Jesus.
A reformed Bad Boy I'm waiting for him. But yeah, I agree with you. I think you can't be in the business of changing people because change is so hard. And
I know.
But the crazy part is as you go through life, you change yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to find the person that's willing to grow with you and in the same mindsets. But that's why
I think that unfortunately at this age, we don't change enough. If like our partner wants something to be fully different about us, it's really hard to do that.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Old dogs can't learn new tricks, right?
Yeah. And we're old dogs.
No.
What do you mean?
I would say like 50, 60 is probably old dogs. Don't you think? Look, not that that's old.
I'm not learning new tricks. I'm just putting it out there, okay? I was like, I'm tired. I like the person I am. I think I'm perfect. And I'm not changing, okay?
Yeah. See, I'm in the opposite direction. I'm like, I was like, so much to change.
I was like, what you see is literally what you get.
No, you got to be a growth mindset, baby. Growth mindset is everything.
Okay, so I did it. I got the soft side suitcase from Away. I know it's been trending on social media and it is absolutely stunning. I think I just prefer a soft side suitcase. So this one has a proprietary compression pad system that helps you pack it all in, and it's designed to be lighter than others on the market. So if those few extra pounds matter when it comes to checking in bags or when it comes to lifting your suitcase to the overhead bin, get the soft side suitcase from Away.
I got mine in Coast Blue. I like that the color won't fade or dull. One thing that makes me a little nervous about soft side suitcases is the stains. And this bag is made from high stretch nylon, and its fabric is tear resistant and weather resistant and wipeable to easily clean dark or light spills. I spilled a little coffee on mine when I was in Texas and can confirm the claim holds up.
You got to check out the new soft side luggage from Away. Head over to awaytravel.com and use code OUTOFTHEPODS to save 15% off on any Away suitcase.
That's awaytravel.com, code out of the pods to save 15% on any Away suitcase. Offer ends December 31st, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so I was scrolling on TikTok the other day, as I always do every single day. And this video popped up of Chappell Roan. Obviously, we love Chappell Roan.
Oh, I love Chappell Roan.
She's so good. But she basically made like a PSA to her followers, her fans. And she was like, it is not normal for people to be stalking me, stalking my family. And basically, she's kind of like overwhelmed with the fame because she grew so quickly. And now everyone is like such a huge fan of her. And she basically is like finding some qualms with being in the public eye to the point where she kind of wants to stop making music and just like live a normal life. And it kind of made me think, like, I understand that so much. And we're at like such a smaller scale, I feel like. But sometimes when we're out, or even like at the airport or like at a coffee shop doing random things, like people want to take pictures or like, you know, have a full blown conversation. And I know you've experienced this before too, where people are like, so how was the show? Tell me, is it real? Like they're asking you like interview style questions, you know? And it can be so overwhelming.
We are nobodies. Like Deepti and I are very aware that we're not famous. Yeah. We did one season of a reality TV show. We have just like a funny little podcast together, like whoop-de-doo. But I think on the flip side, we are considered public figures in that we were on one season of a popular reality TV show. So I get it because like a few people will recognize us when we're out. But you're right, where like I understand where Chappell is coming from in a very much smaller scale.
Exactly.
Where people kind of like cross the line or think just because they saw us on a reality TV show that they can kind of, I don't know, not like respect our space, if that makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
Like I was out with Deepti one time and this woman recognized us from the show and she grabbed me like both my arms. And it was like really, I don't know, like jarring because I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting like attacked?
Yeah.
And I turn around and she's just like, oh, I loved you on the show, like blah, blah, blah. Yes. But I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, what made you think like that's okay to do?
Exactly. And
I don't know you. You're a stranger.
Yes.
And I saw that TikTok too by Chappell Roan. And, you know, I hope you don't mind the profanities, but she goes, would you do that to a random bitch? Like, you don't know me. Like, I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. But kind of the same thing in that case.
No, and
that's in our case.
That's exactly why you're right. It's so jarring sometimes. And most of the time, everyone is so lovely and kind. But once in a while, you get that person who, like, I was walking through a crowd, and obviously a bar is like there's going to be a huge group of people around you, but they'll like grab your arm.
Yeah.
Yes. And while you're walking, and to the point where now I have my friends act as bodyguards for me because, you know, I'm short. So I'll be like, just make a circle around me. Cause it's just like, you're right. It's so jarring. And it's also very frustrating sometimes when you're trying to be like on the move, but they're like, can I stop and talk to you? And I'm such a people pleaser that I'm like, yeah, let me like talk to you and have like, and answer these questions for you. But I'm like, wait a minute, like my friends are across the bar at this point now.
Yeah.
And I just want to get moving, you know?
Yeah. that happened to me at a friend's birthday. Is someone, again, recognized me from the show and like bent over to say hi. And I was like, okay, hi. But she sat to ask me questions. And a lot of it was like kind of like inappropriate questions like, oh, was like your fiance on drugs? And like,
yes.
like what exactly happened in this scene? But I'm like, it's very clear I'm at a birthday dinner with my girlfriends and I'm fine answering like one or two questions or like just chatting it up. But I was like, you can't take like 15, 20 minutes of my time.
Exactly.
And I didn't know how to cut it, but I finally was like, hey, like it's my friend's birthday. Like, you know, why don't you like DM me on Instagram or like I'll come find you after if I have time. And what really shocked me, and she goes, okay, well, 2 more questions I have.
Oh,
and
man.
I was like, I don't know how to just like end this. But so I feel what Chappell Roan is saying, because I do feel like some people think like, oh, this person was on TV and I know them, or this is kind of what they signed up for me to be able to like grab them or really like take up their time and space. And a piece of me is like, it feels rude to say no.
It does.
Because I'm like, well, they think I'm like a bitch.
And in no means are Natalie and I saying do not come up to us, because obviously I think
oh my God,
love when people come up to us and talk to us.
Especially pod besties, guys.
Yes.
When it's you guys and we are talking about pod stuff, I love it.
Me too. It makes me so happy to hear that like we've built this amazing community.
Yeah.
Again, we're on such a smaller scale. In Chappell, she literally had like people stalking where she lived.
I know.
Which is insane to me.
I heard that people were stalking her family.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Crazy. Like that. That's where I draw the line. Like the safety of my family and the safety of myself is where I draw the line. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I couldn't imagine what like really, really big stars like Beyonce and Taylor Swift go through.
Well, they live in gated communities.
That's
and
true.
have
but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure there's constantly like some sort of stalker or I don't know, like the, you know, information of where they live. Like always, everyone always knows where they live. If you Google Taylor Swift's house, which I've never done.
Your FBI agent is listening.
Knows that. He will confirm. I'm sure you could like figure it out.
Yeah, and I think Taylor has probably talked about stalkers before. I know Kendall Jenner has. She just recently came out about saying that her stalker like somehow walked up to their house in the gated community, which is really scary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, thankfully we don't have that issue, but I totally feel for Chappell Roan. I really hope she doesn't stop making music because of this, because it would suck for her to like, you know, stop doing what she's passionate about because of like stupid people out there, you know?
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Well, I feel her on a very, very small scale. We feel her.
Yeah, exactly.
There's really no greater threat to your hot girl summer than summertime swamp ass. So Deepti and I went out with friends last weekend, but luckily I wore my favorite underwear from MeUndies. It was so hot outside, but these are literally the best underwear for the summer because they are so lightweight. I don't feel hot or constricted down there, and they're made of quick drying breathable fabric they call Breathe Fabric, which has moisture wicking and anti-odor technology.
Yes, exactly why I love them. They're breathable, stretchy, and so soft, especially during the summertime for comfort. But really, you can use them any season. And they have over 10 different styles ranging from high-waisted to cheeky briefs. Also, if you're not happy with your first pair of undies, it's on MeUndies.
So we know summer is here. Get every cut for your butt from MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/outofthepods.
That's MeUndies.com/outofthepods for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in.
Can we please get into the last 2 episodes of Love is Blind UK?
I was waiting for this.
Oh my gosh. What a beautiful 2 sets of episodes. Well, for some of the couples at least.
I think it was beautiful in general. You're right. I like love the end because, you know, mostly because I just want to know what happens with these couples.
Yeah.
But I feel like every single couple made the right decision.
I agree. Well, I agree for now, but the reunion comes out tonight.
Yes.
So I'm very curious who stayed together. People are saying Sabrina and Steven aren't together anymore because in the previews, they're not sitting together like the other couples.
Yeah.
You know, like Benaya and Nicole and Jasmine and Bobby. So I'm very curious to see what's talked about. But before we get into weddings, we must talk about the bachelor and bachelorette parties, or what they call the stag and hen parties.
The stag and hen parties.
I was like, what's that? When they kept like bring up this, you know, like, oh, I'm on my stag. And I was like, what does that mean?
So that's what I loved about this show in general. There's so many terms that we're learning that are just a little bit different.
Like all these British terms.
Yeah, they're just so different than what we're normally used to. But I love the differences between, I'm going to call it the bachelorette parties, because the men went on this like, what is it, like a trolley? I don't even know what like a pedal bike thing. Yeah. And the girls went to this like steamy, sexy little strip club.
Yeah. Okay. But can I tell you, why do they always have the women go to a strip club?
I don't know.
We didn't on our season, but I feel like it does happen more often, and the men never do.
I wonder if they had any input on it. Probably because men can't behave and women can. Just kidding.
There's no way they had any input on it.
Yeah. I don't know. That was interesting.
We didn't.
That's true. We definitely didn't. We got like a really weird boat.
I know. Like the men on our season were able to go to Wrigley Field, which is iconic, this iconic baseball field in Chicago, and hit baseballs.
And they had their name displayed.
I would have loved to do that.
I don't even remind me, because I was so salty
that we went on a tiki boat.
I was so salty. Like they couldn't even get us a yacht.
I know. And I was getting like a little bit seasick or river sick, and I was like, oh Jesus.
I'm sounding a little ungrateful, but it's because Wrigley Field would have been so iconic. Oh
I was saying that too. There are some things I want to highlight that happened during these bachelor and bachelorette parties. We found out that Demi's not meeting Ollie's parents until the wedding day.
Why? Why do you think that is?
I have no idea.
I wonder if his parents don't feel comfortable being on screen, but I don't know, man.
But they're showing up on his wedding day.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's just like a little bit different flavor, where
maybe they don't want like a full parents meetup.
Yeah, like I don't want you coming to my house. I don't want to like go and do a whole conversation, that type of thing. I don't know. Again, speculation, I think, but
I feel like it was in this conversation where I realized, okay, like Demi is not saying yes on her wedding day. Only because she questions if Ollie is going to show her the effort from now until the wedding, when during the time you're separated from your partner.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just felt like if you don't have that trust and foundation, and you have to question if your fiance is going to make the effort in those few days, I don't know. I just felt like, okay, now she has some doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I'm just more so commenting like the vibe of Demi's conversation with her friends, like compared to, let's say, Sabrina, where she's so excited, she's crying, and she goes like, I met the most perfect person. I feel like these scenes in these bachelor and bachelorette parties, you get a feel of who is probably saying I do or I don't. Obviously, there's a few surprises. Like on my season, I was like, I'm saying I do, and I said I don't.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons that played on the show.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. And also, I think you also have a check-in with the other girls and guys, kind of to see where your head is at. Like, I remember when we had our bachelorette parties, it was interesting to talk to you guys to kind of see where your head was at and how much you've like accelerated in your relationship, or kind of taken a step back and you're like, okay, this isn't it for me.
Yeah.
And I was in the headspace where I was like, oh yeah, this is not it for me. But like talking to you and Ayana, it felt like you guys were like a for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were
at that
so
time.
excited.
Exactly. You were so excited. You were like dancing, laughing, having fun. Whereas I was like crying.
I know. Ayana. You were like,
I was like, oh man, I wish this could have been the outcome for me. But like you kind of see, it's kind of like foreshadows what's about to come,
I know. Even for Jasmine too, like when she calls Bobby during their bachelor and bachelorette parties, I'm like, okay, like they're a for sure yes.
I didn't even think about Jake. Just kidding. Honestly, watching these scenes, especially the scenes where they're moving out, made me feel so nostalgic, because no matter what you're gonna say at the altar, like whether it be a forever moment or it's like a breakup or you continue dating, whatever it is, I don't know, it just feels like so emotional because that's the last
Moving
time.
out?
Yes, for me it did, because I think I kind of knew in the back of my head this was the last time we would have moments together where, you know, we'd be like, just there's no like pressure. I mean, there is a lot of pressure, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the moment right before you say no at the altar and everything changes, or you say yes at the altar and you're still together, but like the environment changes, you know? You kind of like reflect on the highs and lows of it all. And
no, I hear you. I had a different experience though. Remember, I like moved out within an hour and I was trying to avoid Shane because I just told him, hey, I'm saying no at the altar. And he, I don't know, it was very tumultuous. And I was like, I need to move everything out before production can set up cameras.
Oh, yeah. So
I
yours
was like, I'm out.
Very emotionally charged. I think, whereas mine was like, I felt really sad because me and Shake actually had a really good living situation. And I was like, oh, it's about to come to an end because we knew we were going to say no.
What's very different from our move out compared to the ones in the UK is even when producers told us like, hey, you can't see each other from the time you move out to your wedding day, which can range from 2 days to 6 days. You were at the last wedding that they filmed.
Yep.
Did you ever see Shake in between that time
period?
No,
we talked a lot, but we did not see each other.
I saw Shane twice.
Yeah.
Leading up to our wedding day. Yeah. Well, because we're only 5 to 15 minutes away from each other. And I know other people in our season also like saw each other like behind the producer's back. But then I'm reminded that it's really hard for these UK couples to do this because they live far from each other.
Yeah. You know what? I found that so crazy because I remember during our season, I got rid of my apartment in Chicago because of COVID. And so I didn't have anywhere to go. And I was like, I begged the producers. I was like, please let me stay in this apartment that we're in because I do not want to drive 2.5 hours back to where my parents were.
I couldn't imagine being that far. So Bobby says in one of the scenes that he's headed back to Stoke while Jasmine's staying in London. And I looked it up, and Stoke is a 3-hour drive or a 3.5-hour train ride from London. So obviously it's going to be really hard for them to see each other before their wedding day.
And honestly, I kind of love that Love is Blind did this where you spend time apart, because I feel like this is the time period that is truly designed as the last test before you get married, because you either realize in the time apart that you're supposed to be together, or you realize that, okay, like, I don't think this is the person for me.
Totally. You're out of the bubble now and you're in your own home. Well, not for you, but you're in your own home. You're talking to your friends and family and you're just like, okay, is this what I truly want? I totally agree.
And it's such a mind fuck too, because you're like still planning a wedding and everyone's asking you, oh, like, what flowers do you want? Yeah. Like, who's coming to the wedding?
Your wedding guests are sending you questions too, like, what do I wear?
Yes.
Like, when do I show up? And
they're like, are you excited? I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited.
Did your wedding guests know that you were going to say no?
I only told a few of my closest friends that I was going to say no. The rest of them were shocked, which is kind of wild.
Interesting. Okay.
But I also knew that I wasn't going to say yes, so I didn't invite that many people.
Well, unfortunately, Shane and I created our wedding guest list when we thought we were saying yes. Yeah. And then obviously 2 days before my wedding, I decided to say no. But people had already booked flights. And we're just like getting ready to come.
I know.
So I was just like, this is happening. I told everyone. Well, I tried to tell as many people, and so did my parents. But most people knew.
Isn't that crazy that people flew in for our weddings?
Yeah.
The friends that did, I had to tell them. I was like, hey, like, I'm so excited to see you, but like, don't get so excited because it's probably going to be a no.
Yeah. Same with Shane's side. I think everyone on his side knew that he was supposed to say no, and then but they knew we weren't getting married. So it was very, very tensionous when everyone still had to show up, because, you know, like, my friends and family were very protective of me. Yes. They didn't know what happened, but knew Shane had done something. Yeah. And I think same with his friends. Like, they were like her friends and family are like angry at him, and like, we don't know, like, it was very tensionous in the room.
Dude, I could not imagine. I wish we could go to each other's weddings because I would have loved to be there.
I tried to invite Ayana and Jarrett, and they were like, no.
Yeah, they told me no.
Yeah.
Even though I did have a couple people from the broader cast at my wedding.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So if you of them came, which was like lovely. I did see that Priya was on at one of the weddings. I forget whose it was, but anyways.
And Priya's a cast member from this season.
Thank you for the clarification. Yes, Priya is one of the castmates. Okay, should we get into each of the couples' weddings?
Yes. Oh, okay. First of all, can I just say this venue was stunning.
I was gonna say that. Why did they get a castle? Like,
no, literally.
It was.
That's why I hate Chicago, because there's nothing like that exists around here.
I agree. And I feel like as the seasons go on, the venues and the decorations and the setup just gets more beautiful and more beautiful.
No, we were on a budget season for sure. And we got married at a golf course.
And it was like so, okay, you know what? I'm going to be grateful. But still, I was like,
no, we had a budget wedding. Okay, guys, during our season, it was leaked that the producers were like reaching out to small businesses around here for like free things for a wedding.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, obviously they get some publicity, but someone, one of the small business owners like leaked it, being like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this Netflix show that's huge is asking for things for free.
Well, I mean, I think we were season 2, so obviously there was not as big of a budget because they didn't anticipate how big this show would get. But
well, they did from season 1, remember?
Yeah, but I feel like still they were like, yeah, you're right. They were cutting corners everywhere, every which way. And Chicago's so beautiful. Like, you gonna take us to like a beautiful downtown hotel?
Yeah, I was like, you took us all the way to the suburbs?
Yeah.
No one could find Ubers back home?
That one was, that was
bad.
tough.
No, yeah.
Ooh.
It was really bad for us. Like, for me and the guests.
Yeah, but this venue is so stunning. And every single wedding was like kind of in like a different room, and the setup was so beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh.
So I actually loved Steve and Sabrina's room.
Me too.
The most. But I loved the decorations of Nicole and Benaya's wedding the most.
Okay. And the fact that they got to stay at that venue too. They had a hotel room that night. I'm not gonna lie, for our hotel, you know how like you put up your friends and family in the hotel?
Yeah.
Some of my friends got rooms and they're like, Deeps, I'm not going to lie to you. Not great. I think I'm going to go into the city. And they got new rooms in the city.
Oh, because producers provided the hotel rooms, you mean?
It was so bad.
No, I know.
But those rooms in this season, gorgeous, breathtaking.
100%.
Oh, man.
Speaking about Steven and Sabrina, let's get into their wedding because I cried like a baby.
Me too. I was wondering if I was like, it's not because I'm on my period. I was so emotional. They're so wholesome. And the way that they gave their wedding vows, I think it really spoke to who their characters are. And they were just very like grateful. And it like, I don't know, just the way they spoke to each other was so mindful, and how much love they would give to each other. And it wasn't so, like a selfish conversation. I don't know. It was just so beautiful.
I don't know if this is like something that, I don't know, British people say often, but when they both told each other, like, I appreciate you. I was like, what powerful words, because no one ever tells me they appreciate me.
That's exactly what I wrote down.
Except for Deep now that I think about it.
That's true. We do love and appreciate each other. I know. I loved when they were like, I love you, I appreciate you. And I don't think that's a British thing. I think that's just a couple who is extremely emotionally intelligent and understands that gratitude is the most powerful thing in the world. That's why I love this couple so much.
My favorite part of Steven's vows is when he says, I promise nothing less than a life of crazy good chapters as we grow old hand in hand.
Oh.
I was like, wow, let me steal that line.
And you know what? The vows are so indicative of if the couple's going to say yes or no. Oh, and the 100%. Way they talk to their family members.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, they're going to say yes. And honestly, I would have cried my eyes out if they said no.
Well, 2 things before we move on to Tom and Maria, but I'm still shocked that they didn't continue their conversation around children.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, again, there are some rumors that they're no longer together based on the seating chart of the reunion that comes out tonight. So we'll have to see.
I know.
I don't know what the update is on Steven and Sabrina. I hope they're still together.
I know. The possibility of them not being together makes me really sad, but knowing them from the show, not knowing them individually, obviously, but I feel like they probably made the right decision for themselves if they're not, but it would make me really sad.
Especially Sabrina.
I know.
I love that girl.
I know. Shifting my wardrobe from summer to fall is always my favorite type of challenge. I live for fall weather, and the fashion that comes along with it is by far the best. And luckily, Quince offers amazing high quality items I love, keeping my style fashionable without blowing my budget. Like, I'm obsessed with this cashmere sweater I got, and it was only around $50. I just cannot wait to wear it.
I saw you order that cashmere sweater and I can't wait to see it on you. So the best part is that all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So by partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. I love that.
Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/outofthepods for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/outofthepods to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/outofthepods.
Well, let's get into Maria and Tom. This was an emotional one. I was crying for different reasons during this wedding.
Yeah. I mean, so Tom's biggest concerns are about the male-female role. So it sounds like Maria wants a more like traditional relationship where kind of the man takes the lead on everything. And I don't know, the moment Tom brought this up, I was like, he's going to say no.
I agree. That's exactly what I thought too. But on the flip side, the way Maria was talking, you could tell that she was going to say yes, especially with how emotional she was with her family. And obviously she's missing the presence of her dad and the beautiful moment that she had with her brother walking down the aisle. I was like bawling my eyes out.
But can I just say something? Because I feel like we have to see beyond the editing. I actually think Maria knew that Tom was going to say no. Because when they're in their confessionals during their wedding day, they both say something around the lines of like, there are things that might like crop up in the future, like talking about challenges that might pop up. And I don't know, the fact they said the same thing, I was like, they definitely talked and they definitely know that they're not getting married today.
Yeah.
And I know that it looks like her family was heartbroken, but I actually think that like she was very aware and they were very aware that it wasn't going to happen.
See, I think no matter if you're aware or not, when things are unfolding
100%
in front of you, it's still very hard because making the right choice doesn't mean that you're happy. You know, it's still sad. Even when you make the right choice, you are hurt by it. And I think that's why it was really difficult to watch. Like, editing aside, I think like, it's just hard to see your baby girl up there going through that.
Yeah.
These differences that Tom is speaking of, they've talked about it all season. I don't know. It just felt like Maria didn't think that he was going to say no because of the differences.
Well, I have some info for you. So Pod Bessie sent us this. So we were sent a screenshot and it's of a comment that Tom's wedding guest left on his most recent Instagram reel. So this wedding guest says, "I was there at the wedding. Everyone in the building knew it was going to be a mutual no. When the celebrant asked Tom first, he did an amazing speech speaking for the both of them. It was very perfect. Maria was happy. We were all in tears. Then they said, no, Tom, you have to come in again and just speak for yourself this time. They then reshot it like this and edited to look like no one knew and Tom was dropping a bomb. Absolute madness. But that's TV, people. Drama. Love you, T."
My God. Talk about an NDA has expired for this person.
I think it's just his friend just trying to like support him. But
yeah.
I'm going to be honest, this isn't the first time that we've heard of scenes being reshot. We know that it happened in season 1. We know that it happened in season 2.
Yeah, honestly, it makes sense.
We just can't share who and what.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember even after my fake necklace wedding,
fake Netflix wedding.
Yeah, fake Netflix wedding. I always have to say that to people. Like they were trying to get me to cry so much that I'm like, no, like I know you want the shot, but I'm not crying. Yeah. Because it was like a whatever, this chapter ended, but I'm glad it happened type of like happiness. But that's interesting that they made them reshoot the whole thing because technically he is gonna say no. So basically, is this person saying that both of them said no, but they went back in and like reshot it?
Yeah, what they're saying is that it was a mutual no. Both of them knew it was gonna be a no, but what's seen on the show, it's, I don't know, it shows that like Maria's kind of surprised and her parents are really heartbroken. But I guess that's not a reflection of what happened in real life, which might be the truth, because on my wedding day, everyone knew that Shane and I were not getting married.
Mm-hmm.
All of our family members, most of our friends. But then when it shows that I said no on the show, you could see that some people looked shocked, but the people that they showed definitely knew we were not getting married that day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think editing plays a role. They might have taken, you know, other scenes of her parents. Maybe it was like earlier on, or like something else was said where they look heartbroken, like things like that.
No, I absolutely agree. I think editing plays a huge part in these TV shows, especially reality TV, right? I felt like it was interesting when any of the couples start with I love you and then go into the reason why they're going to say no.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting. But I do agree with what Tom said as to his reasonings to say no. He basically was like, we had some differences in values and I haven't had the time to understand how those differences might affect our life day to day. And then I don't know. I think that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
because,
valid reasons.
Yeah, I think like fundamentally, they do have different outlooks on life, and raising children is a big deal. And I mean, maybe potentially Maria is upset or maybe not that upset, but I think he did the best thing for both of them by saying no.
I agree. I feel like if you're having doubts and like, it's a huge leap of faith to get married on Love is Blind. I think it's really weird when people get mad when someone says no at the altar.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why would you? Like, would you marry someone in 6 weeks? Probably not. So why are you getting mad at these contestants if they decide to wake up from their little bubble and realize like, hey, I'm not going to take this leap of faith.
Exactly.
Because I care about the sanctity of marriage.
Yeah, because the viewers get to turn off their TVs and live their life.
Yeah, you don't have to go through a divorce if it doesn't work out. But these people do.
Imagine the intertwining of things that happen. Yeah, I think it's a blessing for her, regardless, for both of them, to be honest. And
I agree.
And hopefully they'll find somebody who fits their lifestyle better.
Yeah. Well, let's get into Demi and Ollie's wedding. This one, whoo. Go Demi.
I said the same thing. I remember being like, oh my gosh, did Demi just have an I choose myself moment?
Yeah, she 100%
she
chose
did.
herself. Well, I'm very bothered when Demi starts off and says that after they moved out of their shared apartment, they hardly spoke to each other. And it sounds like that happened more on Ollie's side. Like he let the communication drop.
Yeah, I think the lack of communication and her speaking about it right before the wedding, I was like, Demi, if you say yes, I'm going to be so sad, because that should be so indicative of what's to come in the future. Like if he can't even have you be top of mind right now,
100%.
There's no way you should be saying yes. And I was so proud of her. Oh my goodness.
I know. But I was thinking, I was like, what happened there? Like, why did he like not communicate with her leading up to it? Like kind of an asshole move, but it sounds like that they're very open to dating. So I wonder if they are dating.
What happens at the reunion?
Because they're very flirty on social media right now.
Yeah, it could just be them playing into it, but who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that they are dating, but
you do?
I mean, I feel like Ollie's a good person. I think he doesn't know how to like kind of channel the love, but I feel like Demi's kind of been his guiding light through a lot of things and kind of helping him navigate certain things in their relationship. But I feel like, in it's been a year almost probably now, I feel like their relationship could have gotten stronger. Maybe. Because I think their connection is like really beautiful.
It's always hard because I feel like Demi contributes a lot to Ollie's life just based on what is shown on this season. But I feel like, I don't know, it's not really happening the other way. I'm just really bothered by the fact that he just barely communicated with her leading up to the wedding day.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's because, and I'm not like on Ollie's side, I am a Demi stan over here.
Yeah.
But just to play devil's advocate, I wonder if he like took the time to kind of think things through. You know, sometimes you need the space to either...
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate though.
No, I hear
but
you.
I do
That's
understand what you're saying. That's not cool to like completely have like a lack of communication, because that's the time when you miss them the most.
No, but I kind of see that side too of like maybe he just needed space to think about it, and it doesn't mean he doesn't want to be with her, but he's probably like, I'm not ready for marriage. Yeah. How do I like think this through? But maybe he like continues on in a relationship with her.
Yeah, I was laughing because while you were saying that, I was like, okay, but his surprised face where he's like, why? When she says no, I was cackling so hard. I was like, what do you mean why? Like, she just explained it.
No, it was such a nice speech.
It was.
It really is. I feel like you had a really powerful I choose myself moment just like based on what you said. I feel like it's very, you have to be like very mature when telling someone that you're choosing yourself in that moment, and they're technically not, meeting your standard for a husband. She did it so nicely.
She did.
Because I also think of what Xana said to Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Back in season 3, and I was like, ooh, she got so much backlash for that.
Yeah, that one was
bad.
Rough. That one was
So
rough.
if you need examples, future contestants of Love is Blind, how to choose yourself at the altar, look at Deep D and Demi, okay? And what not to do, look at Xanax, unfortunately.
Oh, man. I know. I was really proud of her, though. I was like, yes, girl. Because it is hard to put yourself first when companionship is what a lot of humans want in life.
100%.
And so I'm sure that was very difficult to do, but I was very, very proud of her. Yeah, it was interesting to see, though. Like, I wonder if Ollie would have said yes if he went first. Seems like he would have.
I don't know. I think he actually would have probably said no.
Really? You think so? I was just surprised by the why. Like, as if he was going to say yes. I don't know. Yeah. You're right. I'd be intrigued, but okay, let's talk about Jasmine and Bobby's wedding. This one, I was a little bit on the fence about if they were going to say yes or no, because the marriages prior to this, or the weddings prior to this, it was a little bit like you could tell which way they were leaning because of their conversations with their family and friends. And obviously it's very like emotionally charged. But when Jasmine was talking about how her mom is very skeptical about their relationship, I found it very interesting. Like, Jasmine's mom said Bobby can't provide for his family. And she also said Jasmine likes Bobby more than he likes her, which I was like,
no,
what a crazy statement to make.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, her mom is a bit like overbearing and really protective. But I'm going back to what Jasmine said during her bachelorette party to her friends about how she's going to set boundaries with her mom.
Yes.
And I do think that Jasmine does do that. And so like the mom aside, I just feel like the foundation and the connection that Jasmine and Bobby have is so lovely that I couldn't see them not saying I do at the altar.
Yeah.
First of all, she's a 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh.
Like Bobby is lucky to have her, but he's also so sweet to Jasmine.
I loved Bobby's interaction with his family. It was really beautiful. I think it kind of brought out a more emotional side of him that I love to see. But I am so proud of Jasmine for setting her boundaries and going with what she wants to do and not with what her mom is like kind of suggesting. Because at the end of the day, you have to be able to trust your children. And I was just really respected her for following her own heart.
I agree.
It was really cute. It was cute.
Well, it looks like that they're together based on the reunion preview because they're sitting next to each other. So, I can't wait to hear the updates on that couple.
Yes.
Speaking about the other couple that's probably still together, again, based on the reunion preview, Benaya and Nicole.
12 out of 10 wedding, honestly. Although at the altar, when it was time for Nicole to speak and like say her piece, their like eye contact was like, oh my God, is Nicole about to say no? Like I had a doubt, right?
Yes. I was like, wait, am I missing something?
And then she said yes, and I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Because if you were gonna mess with Benaya, I was about to be upset. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know why, but last week I was doubting.
You were?
Yeah. I was doubting
you were on the fence.
They were actually going to get married.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like because she's been married before, she's probably more like, I don't know, cautious about it.
Exactly.
But I guess she took the leap of faith.
Yeah, I'm really happy they said yes. And also, can Benaya let us know who did his hair? Because that is the messy bun I aspire to have in life.
They're like, that's the hairstyle I want at my own wedding.
Yes. Just my day to day. I'm like, how'd you do that bun, bro?
But literally the most beautiful floral decorations.
Ugh.
Like, I'm typically like a very neutral girl. Like, if you guys see my apartment, even if you saw my wedding day on Love is Blind season 2, it's like all whites, all woodsies, you know, like
classic,
boring, but
it's called timeless.
It's called like, I don't know how to match anything. So I was just like, anything like brown, beige, white, like it's going in my apartment and everything that, any event that I put on. But oh my gosh, her wedding decorations, gorgeous. 10 out of 10 wedding.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm now a fan of them.
Yay.
I'm very curious to see, because I saw in the preview, the reunion preview, that Sam comes back.
I saw that.
I'm very curious, like, how they're going to address, I don't know, the conversation he had with Benaya, all this stuff. So
it was, I was wondering if they like had Sam there the whole time, or if they like brought him in as like a, okay, now come on out.
Like a Trevor, like come in,
Trevor.
say your piece, and then out you go.
Imagine. I know. I already know that Sam's energy is going to be scattered.
I know. I'm shocked they didn't bring him to the wedding.
I know.
I'm shocked he didn't like bust through the doors.
He's like in the back, like, does anyone want to say anything before they get married? Me!
He's like, hey, Nicole, remember that time you wanted to sleep with me?
And I said no. Oh,
Anyways,
man.
All right. Well, the longest wedding.
Ooh.
Catherine and Freddie. I feel like they were half of the last episode.
Yeah, honestly, they knew what they were doing by putting this wedding at the very end, because it was the most dramatic one of all of the weddings.
No. Okay. Can we start with Freddie giving Catherine the earrings? I have this weird feeling that production set that up.
You think so?
Yes, because the brand is so prominent, and producers do that a lot. Like, think about that. Like,
that's true.
For example, it was their idea for Shane to bring a huge bouquet of flowers for my mom during our parents' meetup, and they actually bought that bouquet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that had happened a lot on our season, and I know seasons after us as well.
I do feel like those earrings were like a plugged advertisement too.
100%.
But there's a small part of me that was like a little skeptical about it, and I was like, oh, maybe it could have been like a nice gesture, because Shake got me this jacket that I love. For those who don't know, I absolutely love G-Eazy, and he got me this like beautiful jacket that I love, and he had to pre-order it. So I know it was not production who did it.
Right. But did they show it on the show?
They filmed it, and they had like his best man bring it in, but I don't think they ever aired it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I felt like it was so
prominently there.
Because it was so prominent, which means like probably the cost was covered for those earrings. And I really think that producers pushed Freddie to like write a note and do it to confuse Catherine.
Also, the fact that they were a perfect match to the ring that she has, I was like, oh, this is a little fishy. But I was also like, damn, Freddie, like if you're going to say no, which we speculated that he would, I was like, ooh, that's, it's going to like get her hopes up.
That's what I was saying. It's so crazy because, look, I really like Freddie, as does like everyone that has watched this season so far. But Bartise from season 3 did the same thing to Nancy, which confused her. Yeah. Right? Like she thought Bartise was going to say yes at the altar because he gave her a gift as well. Freddie does the same thing, which is, I think, what caused Catherine to be a little bit confused. And that's why she said, I do at the altar. But I think Freddie always knew that he was saying no. And I think it was kind of an asshole move to follow production's plan to give her the earrings and the note. Yeah.
Well, you know, this part got me thinking too. I wonder if the other couples gave each other gifts as well. But
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but
you're right. It kind of sets the tone for the wedding. And she got so excited when she saw them. And she was just like so happy that it kind of broke my heart for her when he said no.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the best decision. I mean, I feel like he was always going to say no, even though it's like edited to seem like he's like flip-flopping. I think it's very obvious, especially based on what Betsy Dora, his sister. Oh my goodness, by the
love
way,
her.
can we talk about Betsy Dora?
She's amazing. Give me 14 of her.
I know. Such an amazing older sister. But just the fact that she was kind of, I don't know, saying like really implying like he shouldn't say yes at the altar. I was like, I feel like siblings only say that like on camera when they know like there's been a conversation behind the scenes.
Oh, 100. Exactly what I was going to say. There's been so many conversations, relating to it. And I'm glad that they aired it the way they did, because she obviously was like, I'm not trying to like alter your decision in any way. But you can tell she truly cares about him. Obviously, it's her brother. And, you want to be making the right move. Again, this is another example of how you can love somebody, but that does not mean that you should be married right now.
Yeah, or ever.
Or ever.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the or ever.
Or ever. But it was so emotional. Going back to Freddie, though, his family is so cute.
Oh my God. When Jack, his brother, leaned on him right before they were about to walk down the aisle, and he just like laid his head on his arm. I truly started crying. I was like, this is so special.
And then his uncle goes up to Freddie's mom and Freddie's brother. He's like, you okay? I'm just like checking in. What a cute family unit.
I know. Everyone
very classy.
I agree. This wedding actually made me really emotional, and Freddie's sister said it best, I feel like. And she was like, don't be so like, don't beat yourself up so much, because you said very beautiful words up there. And I have to say, his words were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, is he a poet? Because I just thought like the way he spoke and handled himself was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the fact he also met with Catherine's parents after saying no at the altar. And I was like, I'm sure production set that up too. But it was a really beautiful moment.
Yeah.
I think what makes Freddie really attractive beyond his physical appearance is the fact that when he speaks to people, you could tell it's like very genuine and authentic, and he speaks with such care.
Yes.
And he's like really listening and very considerate to what's happening.
It's not just like love bombing or saying things to make the other person feel good about it. There's like weight behind his words.
Yeah.
And like intention there. Oh man, it kind of broke my heart though, because just seeing Catherine sad was kind of upsetting. But I do love how both families kind of sprung into action to like provide the support that they both needed. But it was actually crazy when Catherine was like, "Don't hug me."
I know. But I kind of feel
I get it.
I kind of get it. I know people are always like, oh, like it's not something I would do, but I kind of get it, because for her, it's not the fact that she got rejected at the altar in front of her closest friends and family, but it's also the fact she got rejected at the altar on a show that's going to be seen by millions of people, and there's just cameras all around you, and you're just so overwhelmed. So it's really hard to act like perfect in that moment. And also some people do shut down. Yeah.
And also for her specifically, because of her past and the fact that she was adopted, that all comes into play here, because even her family mentioned it, that rejection is very hard for her. And she said to her friend, like, I feel really embarrassed. And I'm so happy that her friend was like, you should not feel embarrassed whatsoever. Like, thankfully, she has a support system to talk to her about that. But I understand it because, Catherine needs reassurance. Man, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to announce that they're together at the reunion, or do you think they're not together?
I don't think so. I've seen some TikToks saying that Sam and Catherine might be together.
You mean me last episode?
Well, I saw new ones the last few days.
I did
where
too.
People in Jersey, which is a town in the UK, I don't know anything, are saying that they've heard like Sam and Catherine are together. Well, we'll have to see at the reunion tonight. Like, who knows?
I'm so excited for the reunion, because I was wondering if that's also another reason why they brought Sam back, to be like, hey, new relationship alert.
Well, I think he was literally the villain of this season. So I'm not shocked that they brought him back. Speaking about villains, people are saying that Catherine is also one of the villains on this season, but I actually don't view her as a villain, even though she is getting a more negative edit compared to her other cast members. But I think the way she's being shown on the show, she's just a really complex person.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that, because I also agree. I think this season, there is not really a villain. Even Sam, I'm going to say it, I truly don't think that he's a villain. They are all very complex individuals. And sometimes it's hard to be the perfect person when you're going through so many emotions.
Yeah.
And when there's feelings involved, obviously you're going to like let them get the best of you at times. It does not in any way speak to their entire character. So I think
agree.
this season doesn't have a villain or a hero. I think, again,
Well, I think there is a hero, and it's Freddie.
I do love Freddie a lot. I think
it's very obvious he's getting a very good edit, and
Yeah.
I hope it's well deserved, and I think
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah.
But
Just in the way that he
Yeah.
speaks, I think he also has a lot of emotional intelligence. And you're right, it's more he's not like the cocky, good-looking guy
yeah,
that you would assume that he would be.
yeah,
There's a lot of depth there, and I think a lot of that has to come from his background and his family. But well, I'm really excited to see where all these couples stand, who's dating who, is there any new relationships? But the reunion comes out tonight,
Yeah.
Monday. So I'm really excited to see what happens.
I want to do predictions, but the reunion episode comes out in a couple of hours, so I feel like there's not really any point in doing that. But let us know what you thought about these last 2 episodes, what you thought about the weddings. Were you shocked? You could DM us on our Instagram page at @oddthepods, or just leave your comments on our YouTube videos.
And make sure you guys leave a review and subscribe.
See you next Monday.
Bye.